In my past, I had many days where I laid awake in bed, scrolling through social media, searching for inspiration or validation, or proof that my feelings of being behind in life are inaccurate. I wanted to feel like my life was heading in the right direction, that my accomplishments were equal to or better than those I followed. But after what felt like hours of scrolling, hoping someone would post something that would make me feel better about me, I decided to close my phone out of frustration. My mind started to think thoughts that weren't the most positive. I'm so far behind everyone else my age. Maybe I'm not good enough or talented enough. Well, if I had fewer responsibilities and a job with more flexibility, then maybe I'd be able to do that too. And if I continued down this rabbit hole, I'd be laying in bed all day. So I quickly jumped up, got dressed, and started my day with what little confidence I had left. See, no matter what you're trying to accomplish personally, whether that's to grow a YouTube channel, improve your finances, climb the corporate ladder, or change jobs and career paths altogether, or whatever it is for you, we've all felt stuck and as though we were behind. In general, there are two thought patterns we tend to carry with us throughout life. Either we feel like we're behind in life, or we feel like we're ahead of the curve. Now, sometimes we find ourselves bouncing back and forth between these two beliefs. However, neither one of them is true. The reality of our life, regardless of our accomplishments, actually lies in the middle. And for me, I've come to realize that I'm not behind in life like I thought. I'm actually exactly where I'm supposed to be, and all of my goals, dreams, and aspirations are in fact happening. They're just happening during a time in my life where I'm fully prepared and can handle them. And that's not to say that this is an easy thing to understand or do, because there's something called patience that we keep butting heads with, but have to learn to embrace. As Leo Tolstoy says, who is an amazing writer from the late 1800s, patience is waiting, not passively waiting. That is laziness. But to keep going when going is hard and slow. That is patience. So when I was feeling behind in my life, scrolling through social media, searching for who knows what, I was failing to accept my truth. That maybe I was exactly where I'm supposed to be at that time in my life. With a little more patience, I would have progressed on my journey much quicker. But I didn't realize that at that time. Fortunately, though, over the last few years, I've managed to push beyond this belief that I was behind in life and change many of the habits and thoughts that kept me stuck not only physically in my life, but in this belief as well. So for the next few minutes, I'm going to share the 3 changes I made to help me get unstuck, stop feeling behind, and develop clarity for where I'm headed and how to measure my progress the right way. Let's talk about it. Change your pace in life. Sometimes culture convinces us that life is a race or a competition, so we measure ourselves up against societal norms. But such self-assessment does nothing but rob us of our joy and our ability to be present. Now, there are a lot of habits that we blindly adhere to that sway us to rush in life, subconsciously communicating to us that we're behind and therefore need to hustle. Think about the story of the tortoise and the hare. Now, we all know how this story goes and how it ends. In short, the tortoise and the hare race, and the hare is expected to win because he's faster, right? But instead of the tortoise trying to run and keep up with the hare, he decides to run his own race at his own pace, focusing on his own journey. And in the end, he wins. As a kid, I loved this story, but the poet in me today views this story differently than most. See, what if the tortoise is a physical representation of you and I, but the hare represents a way of thinking, a mindset that we have. So in other words, we're thinking like the hare. So that means there's a part of us that just can't help being in a rush, being a go-getter, and hustling to do more than what is reasonably healthy. After all, we have goals and aspirations we want to achieve, right? And furthermore, prove to ourselves that we can achieve them relatively quickly on top of that. But in reality, all this pressure we're putting on ourselves to overextend and overachieve is what's making us feel like we're behind and making us believe that our life is moving slowly like the tortoise. Now, maybe you're thinking the same thoughts I had in my past about feeling behind and wanting to hurry up and reach your finish line. And if so, then I have 2 pieces of wisdom that I've learned throughout the years and believe you'll find useful. Number 1, maybe you're not ready for your finish line. Maybe your journey is moving a little bit slower because you still have something you need to deal with, a weight that is weighing on you and slowing you down. And if you were to reach your finish line carrying this weight, you would mess it all up. Or number 2, maybe your finish line is so grand and will open so many doors in your life that are meant solely for you. But in order for you to reach all of this goodness, your road requires a few detours, a few construction delays that are adding time to your journey. But that time is worth it. Remember, the tortoise ran his own race at his own pace. Now, though it may have taken him a little bit longer in time and required a little bit more patience, it yielded a greater end result. Change your mindset about life. Most people don't like change, and I'm one of those people. Well, I'm not as bad as I used to be because over the years, I've learned that change can be a good thing, especially the effects of changing your mindset. But a lot of people who want to change their mindsets don't know how. And herein lies a challenge. Carol Dweck, author of the book Mindset, says this. We like to think that our champions and idols are superheroes who were born different from us. We don't like to think of them as relatively ordinary people who made themselves extraordinary. When I first read this, I was like, wait a minute. What is she talking about? But then it dawned on me that the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is mindset and belief. Of course, it takes hard work, discipline, and opportunity. But as my dad always told my brother and I growing up, opportunity favors a prepared mind. This reminder has fueled my drive over the years to embrace change, despite not always being a fan of it, so that I can change my mindset and ultimately whether or not I feel behind in life. So to help you make the same change in your life, there are a few mindset shifts I found extremely helpful. Number one, this is where I'm supposed to be. In my past, I kept telling myself that I was behind in life because this is what I felt. This is what I believed. However, by shifting my self-talk from feeling behind to being where I'm supposed to be, I found that it helps you not waste a day thinking about what ifs and maybe I shoulds. And instead, you'll be able to live the day motivated and taking action without feeling behind. Number two, forward is a pace. It doesn't matter how fast or slow you're making progress on the goals you want to achieve. As long as you're moving forward, then you know you're going in the right direction. As Carol Dweck says, becoming is better than being. So learn to enjoy and maximize the season you're in. And number three, I refuse to rush through life. A question I've gotten the habit of asking myself is, why rush? So my challenge for you is to start asking yourself, why are you rushing through life? Often we get in a habit of rushing because we believe it's going to help us move from one phase of life to another quicker. But the reality is that rushing only promotes busyness, anxiety in many ways, and hustle, which we've already established as not being something that is actually helping us, but creating unnecessary pressure. Adapt a new way to measure progress. Prior to figuring out how to get unstuck and dissolve my feelings of being behind, I felt like everywhere I looked, people were progressing faster than me, hitting milestones earlier, climbing the rakes with more ease, figuring things out faster, leaving me in the dust wondering, how did I fall so far behind? Now, I thought the reason I felt this way was because I was doing something wrong. I feel like we all have felt this way as a matter of fact, but that's just simply not the case. The reason I felt this way, and I'm sure you'll be able to relate, is because I simply didn't know how to measure my progress in life according to what actually matters to me. I was busy comparing my life to others on social media and burning myself out trying to make up for lost time. Where instead, a much better way to measure my progress I found was through personal growth and constant learning. Take YouTube, for example. I know if I'm constantly learning how to make better videos, tell more compelling stories, and share my thoughts with more clarity, then I will continue to grow and get better personally. The same can be said for any profession or skill you want to learn in your life. But beyond this, we can also measure our progress in life by gauging how well we're taking care of our health holistically. Because if you're not taking care of you, you can't do the things you want to do. If you enjoyed this conversation, comment below and let me know which part resonated the most with you. Keep growing, keep learning, and always stay true to you. I'll see you the next one. Peace.